Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Swenson Field here on campus of Bridgewater State University. Tonight's matchup between the 4th and 6th place stand-in teams in the MASCAC Conference. Both have an overall score of 6 and 7. Bridgewater stands at 2-2, while the visiting Vikings of Salem State University have their MASCAC Conference record at 2 and 3. Bears, we got some important players to look out for, specifically Nina LaCory, who is not starting tonight, and Delaney Langton, who is. For the visiting Vikings, keep your eyes on number 5, Taylor Succo, number 10, Mackenzie Schmink, and number 25, Madeline Plord, all of which scored over. All of the players mentioned have scored over 20 goals this season. Taylor Succo, I believe, is the only one within real striking distance of 30. She has 29 right now, and she is on the hunt. My name is Caitlin Faria.
And I'm Matt Donahue here with you.
And we are about to start the game as the players take the field. Starting in net for the Bears is going to be Olivia Kerrigan. And I believe starting in net for the Vikings is going to be Kaya Hollandsworth. Hollandsworth, with a 43.2 percentage, has played the majority of the time here for the Vikings, 480 minutes. Kerrigan just shy of that time frame with 460 herself with a 41.5% save rate. Bears currently 6 and 7 on the season and 2 and 2 in the MASCAC. Bridgewater is 11-0 all time versus the Vikings, including a 5-0 mark at home. So Salem just added this varsity sport in 2012. So this will be a matchup to see if the Bears can remain completely victorious over the Vikings. As the draw heads off, Vikings walk away with it. And it is stolen. Kelsey Brennan, a captain of this team, she steals it away and passes it over to Tracy. Catherine Tracy making her way down the field. Back up to Brennan. Brennan loses it for a moment. All the way over to Delaney Langton. Langton manages to get it over to Carson. It's down behind the net. Managed to get it out in front. And the shot goes awry. Out along the back line, Bears maintain. Long pass overhead all the way to Brennan. She tries to cut in. She finds the pass. Another shot goes awry for Lindsey Brown. Lily Carson with the ball behind the net. She passes it off to the Vikings player. I believe this is number 8, Susanna Stefanik, with the ball, making her way. Manages to get to open space. Trying to find someone to pass it to, and she does, in Mackenzie Schmink. Schmink gets it over to Stefanik. Taylor Succo. Back to Schmink. To Succo again. Trying to get closer to the net, but ends up having to go back to Succo. Once again over to Stefanik. She's trying to work around the perimeter. Hands it off. Pass back in, a give and go. Bit problematic. And a shot by Megan Partham, it looked like. Bears hand the ball over to Olivia Kerrigan. Kerrigan manages to get the pass off, but only just barely, as Katie Murphy has a little bit of trouble with it. Savannah Harrington facing the 2-on-1, and she gets out of it. Harrington exploding up the field. She's getting past the Vikings, but has to find relief behind the net. Back up top, once again, to Brennan. And there's going to be a foul called. Brennan will get a free shot.
That foul is going to go against Plord. Madeline Plord, the freshman from New Hampshire. You know, I was thinking on my way over here, and I still think it as I'm sitting here in the booth, just barely beginning the process of drying off. The weather out there, not great. It's raining right now here at Swenson Field. And I can only imagine the effect that is having on the gameplay, frankly. You know, this is it's a whole field for crying out loud. You can slip and fall. You can lose control of things. Passing might be a difficulty. Ball control might be a significant difficulty. Getting off shots might be a considerable difficulty.
Langton with the shot and the save from Hollandsworth. Vikings will pick it up and start to run. Schmink with it. She is slowing down just about on the 40-yard line. Picks back up after she gets past Catherine Tracy. Hands it off to Suko. Suko can't connect. And there is going to be, I believe, a free shot. This time for the Vikings.
Foul, I believe, was assessed to Tracy. But yeah, the weather's going to be, I think, sort of the unspoken defensive player perhaps for both of these teams. It really is pretty tough out there. Real ones know that we were just caught in the rain during a baseball doubleheader shortly before this broadcast. I'm still just barely drying off this computer.
Now, one thing to mention is the Bears have a much larger roster than the Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
Fairly common thing we've seen throughout the season. But this is a fairly strong difference. The Vikings have 12 less players than BSU, yet still hold almost identical records. Vikings also on a 2-game win streak, best in both Fitchburg and Mass Maritime, who are baseball and softball teams just concluded 2 games against. And 7 out of the 8 goals in that game against Mass Maritime were scored by Taylor Suko, who has the ball now and hands it down.
And worth noting, those are both conference rivals as well.
Ball stolen away by number 17 for the Bears, Katie Murphy, the freshman out of Kingston, Mass., a Silver Lake Regional graduate.
Representing.
Great pass right in front by Savannah Harrington. And it didn't result in a goal at first, but it does now. Number 19, Captain Catherine Tracy, the senior out of Marion, Massachusetts, an old Rochester Regional graduate. She nets that, you can see right there.
That is tough. She's getting triple teamed, and she still slides it right by. That is hard work and then some.
Catherine Tracy, now the first and only player who has a goal so far tonight on either side. Score now 1-0 with 9 minutes and 41 seconds remaining in this first quarter as Catherine Rona lines up for the draw against Mackenzie Schmink.
This is another thing that'll be very interesting. When everything's this wet, how do you set up for draws? That's going to take some work.
And it's up. Nobody nets it.
Control is... Where is control going? Bridgewater State, it looks like.
Delaney Langton with the pickup. Langton, a big name on this team. The senior out of Scituate, Rhode Island.
That was Tracy's 17th goal of the season.
Ball now behind the net. Brennan passes it off.
Drops it in.
To Langton. Langton getting another goal for the Bears. Score now 2-0. You can see Langton gets that run in, just able to swing right into the slot and get her shot off just where she wanted it.
I know their conference records are so similar, 2-2 for Bridgewater State, 2-3 for Salem, but the firepower and the roster size, it's almost twice the size roster Bridgewater State has over Salem State. And I don't want to make it sound like that in and of itself is predictive of success. Roster size does not a good team or bad team make, but when you've got that kind of firepower consistently over the course you know, you have all these players that you can throw at a problem, any given problem. You've got your Langtons and Tracys. Langton, who just picked up her 26th goal this season. You know, when you have all of this firepower sitting on your bench and in your starting lineup, you've got good things coming your way. That's a foul there, I believe.
Delaney Langton sent to the floor. It's going to be picked up by Rona. Rona hands it over to Langton. Langton back up to Brennan. And over to the side, down. All the way to Brown. Working it around behind the net. Carson finds it and gets it into Langton.
Another one.
It goes to the way of, I believe, Haley Karen.
My, oh my. All the seniors are shooting tonight. Tracy, Langton, now Karen.
Yes, Haley Karen, number 16, another captain, along with Tracy, Carol, and Brennan. The senior out of Hopedale, New Hampshire. That's her first goal of the night. Bears now out shooting the Vikings 7-1. Shots on goal going 5-0. Now, we've mentioned the Bears and the Vikings have very, very similar records, but the Bears on average are scoring more goals and out shooting the Vikings as well. In total, 147 goals in 13 games for the Bears, with only 120 for the Vikings in 13 games.
And Langton, another point under her belt. She gets the assist on that goal by Karen. That's a big one right there.
Draw controlled by the Bears, going to Brennan. She passes it out. Over to, looks like Erin McIntyre has entered the game. Now behind the net. Gets it over to Nina LaCory. Back up along the perimeter. Brennan finds Olivia Rankin, sends it down behind. Believe that's Gonzalez. Gets it off to LaCory. LaCory shoots and scores. Nina LaCory following her typical gameplay as she nets her first goal of the night with 7:53 remaining, sending the Bears to 4-0 lead over the Vikings.
Everybody's eating today. This Bears team, they got a million different ways they can get to you. A million different ways they can get you. The assist by Gonsalves as well. They can throw all kinds of offensive plays at you. They've already thrown 4 really effective ones to go up 4-0 just in the opening minutes of the first quarter.
Nina LaCory netting her 28th goal of the season. Draw goes up, and it is, looks like it was controlled right off the bat by Rona. She runs it a little ways down, but not too far. Gets it off to Olivia Rankin across field. Sends it over to LaCory, and then down low over to Melanie McClay, the freshman out of Plymouth, Massachusetts. Now back over. Katie O'Brien. She finds some relief in McIntyre. Sends it down behind the net. Trying to walk it in. And McClay will be stolen away, but the Bears are fighting back, not letting the Vikings walk.
An unbelievable foul whistled, and the Vikings are going to have a little bit more open space to try to start off some offense. Stefanik trying to move with it. Taking it all the way downfield herself. The do-it-yourself kid is out.
Stefanik not looking for a pass yet. She runs all the way from one net to the other. Gets it down behind.
100 yards.
Stefanik over to Schmink. Sends it back over to Suko. There's going to be a whistle blown. And it will be a free shot.
So check this out right here. O'Brien with the press. Right there. There's your foul.
This is going to be the first free shot for the Vikings. And Olivia Kerrigan with the big save and another big save. 2 in a row for Kerrigan. Nobody pressuring her as she hands it off.
That's just hardcore. You got all these players in your face and you managed to find the presence of mind to snatch 2 really impressive saves just in the blink of an eye.
LaCorey looks like she was trying to possibly connect with Cameron Gonzalez.
So check this save out right here. This is good goalie action right here. Kerrigan, that one gets by her. Picked back up. Plord thought she might have a shot. Nope.
And Kerrigan able to keep track,
Schmink.
keep her eye on that ball despite how absolutely chaotic it was in front of
Nobody
the
was
net.
getting there. The Plord to Schmink connection could not work.
Jordan Brown now with the ball. The senior out of East Longmeadow, Massachusetts. Former teammate of, probably related to Lindsey Brown. Both seniors, both out of East Longmeadow, and both attack. Katie O'Brien passes it off to Brennan. Brennan over to LaCorey, who sends it down wide and then down behind the net to Gonzalez. Ball finds its way over to Rankin. Back up again to the top to McIntyre. Sending it down low once again to Gonzalez. McClay. She finds LaCorey, who tries to run it in, but is going to get a shot.
She gets checked up there by Lieberth. Carmen Lieberth, the Floridian, kind of stops her, and she's going to get an 8-meter right here.
And she is stopped. Hollandsworth with the save. Looked like she almost saved it with her leg, if I'm correct. Gonzalez now with the ball back. There's going to be another whistle blown. Gonzalez once again starting up. She sends it out wide to McIntyre. Sends it back up to LaCorey. LaCorey trying to spin her way out of it. Won't get a goal, but will get a penalty. Vikings pick it up. Bears trying to take it back. And they will.
Wow.
I believe that is Captain Taylor Carroll who snagged it back.
It's these fierce defensive plays. They're working for him.
Kelsey Brennan finding McIntyre in front of the net. Doesn't result in anything.
Went wide.
McIntyre down. Below to Gonzalez. All the way up, back out to the perimeter. Looks like Nina LaCorey, and it looks like a save for Hollandsworth.
I don't care what the scoreboard says. Hollingsworth has a real tough job in front of her right now, and she's getting it done. Someone who's listed as an attack isn't even technically, at least on paper, a keeper. She is doing some pretty good work in that net. Given the conditions out there, given the offensive firepower being thrown at her, she's holding her own. Couple of big saves.
Kaya Hollandsworth, just a sophomore as well. All the way out of Methuen, Massachusetts, a little up north. Looks like LaCorey once again. She shoots and gets nothing out of it. McClay now with the ball. McClay manages to get it back to LaCorey, but she misses it. Picks it up with no trouble. Rankin taking her time. All the way over to McIntyre. Back behind the net to McClay. She tries to walk it in. And she will find Kelsey Brennan, the captain and grad student out of Dedham, Massachusetts. will receive the goal. If you look right here, McIntyre sees she doesn't have anything. And then Brennan looks like she almost does it spin behind the shoulder.
Pretty wild sequence of events right there. No kidding whatsoever. I really am amazed at how, and I keep coming back to the conditions. I feel like I mention it all the time during our baseball and softball broadcasts, but when you're playing outside sports, outside affects what you're doing on the field, on the diamond, wherever you might be. And despite rainy, cold, miserable April conditions, this team is just absolutely not wasting any time at all. No beating around the bush. They're getting right to it offensively, and that's 5-0 Bears now.
Kelsey Brennan with her 13th goal of the season. Melanie McClay receiving the assist.
That was a quick grab by Salem out of the draw control there. Big one.
That's number 10, Schmink, running with it. She manages to cut through, but not without some trouble.
But I believe she's fouled on that defensive play. So you check this out right here. Schmink working her way in. She gets pressed up by Bowlby. Almost gets pressed up by Dupuis. Couple of fouls there. Ends up being called on Lombard, if you can believe it.
And it ends up being a goal. Vikings now on board for the first time with 1:40 remaining. Mackenzie Schmink with her first goal of the night. Score now sent to 5-1. Mackenzie Schmink, the junior, out of Danvers, Massachusetts.
We're 26th of the year. And look, I mean, you know, I know what the scoreboard says, but this Salem State team, their record speaks for itself. These are two teams coming in with the same season record. Salem only half a game behind Bridgewater State in the MASCAC. We knew coming in that this was going to be a bit of a knockdown, drag-out kind of night. You still got 3 quarters and 1.5 minutes left in this game. There's still tons of lacrosse to be played. So even though Bridgewater State has had the upper hand early, a little bit of a turnover there forced by Salem State, for example, and a foul called, I believe. But, I mean, you can see, even though Bridgewater State has had the upper hand early on in this game, Salem State is not just going to walk away. The Vikings are not just going to, you know, curl up and throw in the towel.
Absolutely. And as we can see, they are pressuring, trying to keep possession, but cannot do so. Bears, Maya Dupuis is going to take it. She passes it off to O'Brien. O'Brien carrying it in. She's forced back outside. Makes the pass, but can't connect as the Vikings take it away. Looks like Schmink might have gotten hit a bit in the face there. Had to readjust her goggles.
Back-to-back fouls in quick succession. One by Suko for Salem and one by Shaw. That's that one right there on your screen, the foul by Shaw.
That's Jenna Wells for the Vikings carrying it up. Passed it off to her teammate who got it over to Stefanik. Stefanik can't get the goal. Whistle's going to be blown.
She just kind of stood there. I think there was an initial whistle that nobody really heard. So we check out here.
Ooh, you can see the ball just...
Lord is so close.
Just barely slips off of her stick just too early.
And this is what I mean by the conditions dictating so much of what's going to happen in this game today. These players' cleats are going to be slippery and wet. Their sticks are going to be slippery and wet. The ball is going to be slippery and wet. The turf is going to be slippery and wet. It's just going to be... You know, they're tough. All the credit in the world to these young women for being out here tough and through these conditions, but they are necessarily going to affect the gameplay today. And I think it's little moments like that. You know, a ball slipping out too early in the middle of a shot. That hasn't been slipping out too early for the Bears. They're up 5-1 at the end of a quarter.
And this is not how the Vikings wanted to start, but it is how the Bears wanted to start. As we can see that goal by Catherine Tracy. Bears again netting their second goal here. Nice pass and sent in by Langton. Delaney Langton, also a soccer player, the senior, out of Scituate. She's been showing up a big part so far this season for the Bears. Just a great pass and give off. Her partner, Haley Karen, one of the captains and seniors as well, out of Hopedale. Plenty of players getting a chance to get a shot and get a goal. Nina LaCory with hers. She gets them quite frequently this season, but it's always fun to watch her do so. And the great pass. Amazing assist and shot from McClay to Brennan to get the Bears their 5th goal. 5-1 is the score. About 20 seconds remaining in this quarter break. And you can see the coaches over there talking to the teams. Head coach of the Bears is Erica Adams in her 7th year. She's assisted by Haley Barner, Mariah McKenna, and Haley Walsh. On the other side of Swenson, we have the Vikings, who only have one interim head coach, and Karen Atkinson in her 1st year. You can see the Bears. We got Carrigan, along with Laura Giovanello and Brooke Latora, the other 2 keepers on these squads. They will keep Carrigan in net. She has been playing phenomenal so far, making much needed saves. Carrigan right now with a 66.7 save percentage for the night. Best in her 41.5 average. Kaya Hollandsworth on the other side of things, just about at her average, just a little above. She's standing at 44.4. That's going to be Hannah Bowlby passing it back off the draw right over to Katie O'Brien. She's carrying it, plenty of speed, looking for someone out front of the net. Goes behind. Katie Swart now, one of the field hockey members of the team.
A lot of overlap between these squads. Soccer, field hockey, and lacrosse all sharing a lot of players. Many multi-sport athletes here at BSU.
Ball finds its way to O'Brien once again. Tries to get it out to the middle, but is going to possibly be fouled. I believe that was against O'Brien. Yes, it was. You can see there Katie O'Brien getting pressed by number 8, Stefanik. O'Brien nets the penalty shot. Bears now with 6 as Katie O'Brien expands the lead. You can see she just goes top left corner, where Hollandsworth does not get there in time. Katie O'Brien, the junior, out of Pembroke, getting her 12th goal of the season. Seeing some joking around between the 2 players up at the draw.
A lot of camaraderie in the sport. We're very lucky to have student athletes who are not so into the game. Well, they're all into the game, but not at the expense of others.
I do actually believe Stefanik, now who has the ball, was also the one doing the draw. Stefanik going up against Hannah Bowlby in the draw, both of which are from Dalton, Massachusetts. Both Wacona Regional High graduates. Stefanik a senior, Bowlby a freshman, so had some years in between each other.
Probably met once or twice.
Probably on the same team.
It's entirely possible.
So good to see 2 former teammates join up and have some fun over at the center line. Vikings now with the ball.
Oh, turnover forced.
Bowlby running it down. She manages to hand it off to Swart. Swart gets it over to the middle. Over to Power. Aaron Power. And the bounce and in is good.
Right here, Power. You're not stopping that. You're not stopping that by Shaw.
Katie Shaw, just a freshman out of Centerville, Mass., a Barnstable graduate. She is going to net her first goal of the night and the Bears' 7th goal of the game. 7-1 now the score. 13:04 remaining in the half. Schmink is going to go up against Bowlby. That is also going to be goal number 2 for Katie Shaw this season.
That is a Bridgewater goal by
Bowlby taking the ball and running with it.
Shaw.
Facing a bit of a wall, but getting the pass off.
That one goes over Hollandsworth.
Swart sending it over everything. She can't get it. And it heads to the back line.
Looks like Hollingsworth might have had a piece of it.
O'Brien. Carrying around. Finding Swart. She sends it down to Shaw and then back down further. And another goal. Katie O'Brien. The Pembroke native sends the Bears' score to 8.
And you see here, the extra pass or two.
I believe that's...
Lure the goalie out.
Yeah, and I believe that's an assist from Jacqueline DeLaurie behind the net.
Yes, indeed. O'Brien's 13th goal this year.
And 3rd of the night, 2nd of the night. First goal going unassisted. This one credited to DeLaurie. Vikings hoping to bounce back a bit after this draw. It will be taken by Jenna Wells. Foul will go in her favor as well. Wells hands it back to Scroden, Savannah Scroden, the freshman out of Bristol, Vermont. She carries it out wide. Short handoff to Plord. Ball now in the hands of Schmink. Sends it back over to Wells. Wells trying to race in. She's stopped. Suko. And there's going to be a whistle blown. Suko is going to be given a free shot. You can see here why. A bit of a...
Some creative stick action by Bowlby. Using the head of her stick.
Suko with the shot. And the miss. It's stolen away by the Bears. Bowlby hands it over to Kerrigan. Kerrigan not facing any problems. She makes it over to Kristen McDonald, the senior out of Hull, Massachusetts. Ball finds its way all the way to Sarah Lombard. Ball lost. Lombard loses it on her stick, and Vikings pick it up. Maya Dupuis takes the inbound. Passes it off to Karen, who sends it down to Swart. Swart taking her time. Finding a Bear out front, but can't connect cleanly. Luckily, it is recovered by DeLaurie. Looks like that is Karen out front. She sends it down to O'Brien, who sends it down behind the net. O'Brien once again with the ball. Over to Shaw. Sends it down low. Delory. Right in front. Sent back out along the perimeter. Right along the goal line and then back. Down low to Delory.
They almost look like they're trying to make the Salem defense dizzy.
And the bounce is no good, but it is picked up by Karen, who walks it back out high, letting her team set up. Haley Karen, the captain, trying to find some help, and she does. But the ball doesn't fit right into O'Brien's net, and she'll lose it. Delory facing the 2-on-1, then the 1-on-1. Is going to go her way. Facing some strong pressure from Savannah Scroden. Scroden hands it off to Hollandsworth. The long pass makes its way over to Stefanik. But it is going to be picked up by the Bears. Maya Dupuy hands it over to O'Brien. O'Brien giving herself some space. Tries to get the connecting shot in front. Suko with the ball, carrying it. Almost the length of the field now. She's going. Kind of a desperate toss over to Partham. Partham hands it off. Stefanik now. Back over to Schmink. Schmink down along the side. Back up top. Over once again to Stefanik. She sends it over to Suko. Vikings being forced to claim the perimeter. Can't get past the Bears' wall of a defense. And they do, as Olivia Kerrigan lets in her second goal of the night. And you can see the pickup. Good drop. Jenna Wells.
She just figures out how to position it, and she gets to work. Just a matter of moments.
The junior out of Revere is going to net her first goal of the night, joining Mackenzie Schmink on the Vikings lineup, both having a goal apiece.
A timeout called, I believe. Some variety of stoppage in play.
You can see Coach Atkinson.
You can see the rain is coming down.
That is a
pretty good
goal
out here.
Number 21, Jenna Wells. Time of goal 7:31. Vikings goal by number 21.
Jenna Wells netting goal number 11 for her season. Bears still outscoring the Vikings 8-2 and outshooting the Vikings 19-6.
Wow.
Didn't expect this game to be quite so lopsided. I think seeing the roster was one thing. You know, you don't get as many subs. People get tired more easily in these conditions. There's always a possibility somebody gets hurt. So, you know, it's never a great position for a team to be in to have so few people. And the Bears on the other side of things are almost constantly with fresh legs.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of a advantage I saw, but considering how close the records were, this is a bit of a pull away that nobody really expected.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, these were two teams that were pretty evenly matched coming in. They're two conference rivals, and they're both hanging around the same position in the conference. I know we mentioned it already, but only a half game separates these two in conference play. I'm a little surprised that it's been this big of a breakout by the Bears this early. And I mean, again, still a lot of lacrosse to be played, but I do think there is a lot to be said about, you mentioned especially the size of the rosters, the personnel that are on hand. There is simply more, you have more backup if you're Bridgewater State than Salem State does right now. And that's not to say that Salem State can't get it done. That really is not. But, you know, you're going to have to keep these players fresher for longer over the whole game.
And also one thing to mention is that it seems like this women's lacrosse team for the Bears has really just kind of started to gel. I know in the beginning of the season when we were making these calls, it was kind of more like you could see how individual everyone on the team was. It didn't seem like there was any real chemistry between the players. And now, you know, they may not be extremely close of a team, but they definitely work together on the field much better.
The old Fleetwood Mac.
Catherine Tracy now carrying the ball, taking her time. She hands it up to Langton, who passes it over wide. Down low over to Lily Carson. Gets it behind the net. Pass back up to the top to Lombard. Back to Langton, who's running in. And the speed works in her favor. Delaney Langton with goal number 9 for the Bears. That's going to be Langton's second goal of the night. You can see her just blow past.
She's just breaking ankles.
Yeah.
Nothing more to it. She just works her way through all these defenders. Fierce as can be. Direct as can be. A couple of broken tackles, as it were, and she's right through.
Delaney Langton getting her team behind her some smiles as the Bears now hold a 7-goal lead over the Vikings. And with 6:51 remaining in the first half as well. Bears have been, so far, they won against Mass Maritime recently.
That draw comes right down to Schmink, though.
Schmink carrying it off, going far, long to the outside. She's still taking her time, not facing much pressure.
Stefanik at the outlet gets it to Schmink.
Schmink carrying it around to the other side of the perimeter. He hands it down low. Goes back up. Right in front. And the shot goes awry for Carmen Lieberth.
I know the shot was wide, but everything leading up to that shot, that was a great sequence. That was a great find from Schmink to Lieberth. Everything but the bucket. And I think that honestly had something to do with, you know, everything out there is wet. I keep saying it, but I stand by it. The conditions are, it's visibly coming down hard out there. It's not going to help either of these squads. It's not going to help any of these players, either of these keepers.
Schmink with the ball. She's facing some trouble, and she gets it away from her. Over to Stefanik. Circling down around, finds someone in front. Ball goes over the net. I believe it's going to be called out of bounds. Vikings.
She stepped out, but she got pressed up a little bit. I believe it's going to be a foul of some variety.
Kayla McKim, senior out of Wakefield, Mass. Matanon graduate.
And a shot clock violation.
Bears thrilled to see it as their defense holds up. Kerrigan seeing some pressure, having to throw it over to the outside, over to Taylor Carroll. And the Vikings are going to pick it back up. Drop it again, but pick it back up again. Megan Partham with the ball, sending the Vikings back into an offensive push. Whistle is going to be blown. I believe that's going to send Carroll out of the game for a bit. Taylor Carroll taking a swing with her stick for the foul. Partham. Hands it up to Stefanik. Gets it to the top. Suko. Back over to Stefanik. Down low once again to Partham. Stefanik once again. Tries to take the pass. Looks like it was knocked away by Abby Fielden, the freshman out of Augusta, Maine, for the Bears. Bears trying to pick it up once again. Unsuccessful in doing so as Jenna Wells holds on to it. Schmink connects with Wells. And that's going to be another penalty on the Bears. Wells with the free shot. You can see the snag out of the air for Wells. I believe that's going to be against Langton, the foul.
And it's been a lot of fouls just here in the last, 45 seconds or so. Foul on Swart there. Carroll picked up the yellow card a little while back.
Kerrigan makes a big save off the free position shot. Drops the ball after, but still is facing fairly minimal pressure. She passes the ball up. Kerrigan having a fantastic night so far.
Absolutely.
Been real instrumental in keeping the score low for the Vikings.
Looks like it's Giovanello actually in the net. According to my numbers here, that's number 30, Laura Giovanello, the Walpole native who made
Looks
that
like you're
big
right.
save against Wells.
Looks like they snuck Giovanello in.
They're swapping out goalies on
But
us.
4 minutes ago they snuck her in. Probably during the
Been out there already made 2 saves.
during the timeout.
During the timeout.
They snuck Giovanello in on us.
We're up here talking strategy, shooting the breeze, and they're sneaking goalies into the net. What can you do?
Always happens in lacrosse. They throw them in whenever we're not looking. Vikings now passing the ball over to Carmen Lieberth. It'll go out of bounds. Bears will pick it up. Savannah Harrington, the sophomore out of Kinnelon, New Jersey, takes possession. She's turning. Finds Tracy. Tracy with the high pass. She can't connect.
Bounces
Carson.
up. Big bounce there. It's the slippery conditions, I'm telling you. You can see the plumes of water coming up with some of these passes.
Tracy getting some problems, but she manages to get the ball over to Sarah Lombard, who's going to score.
Can you imagine that about a second ago, that was almost a BSU turnover? Salem State would have picked that up. Check this out right here. Check this out right here. Right? Suko is all over that, and instead a lucky grab. Lombard makes a really lucky grab, gets right back on top of it, immediately puts it in for the goal.
Sarah Lombard going to be credited with that goal. The freshman out of Ipswich, Mass, an Ipswich High graduate. Her 4th goal of the season. All the cards landed in the right spot for her to net that and send the Bears into double digits. 10-2 now the score, with a minute 50 remaining in the half. As the draw goes up, it's going to be Rona pulling down, but Vikings walking away with it. Suko passing it down. Bears taking over. And that's going to be a real quick goal. Savannah Harrington. Savannah Harrington, as we just mentioned, the Kinnelon native out of New Jersey. She's going to sneak in, sidearm.
11 seconds into the possession.
Quick goals, not always the worst. She sends the Bears up to 11 after only being at 10 for, as you mentioned, 11 seconds.
They're stuffing in as many as they can in the half. A minute 33 left here in the second quarter.
Bears not letting up whatsoever. Draw goes up. Vikings run past it. Tracy. Leonard team set up. Pops it over. Harrington over to Carson. Harrington once again.
And it's a good press there. She was getting watched real closely by, I believe, Scroden. Made her drop it once.
Haley Karen passing it down to Carson.
Goal by number 11, Savannah Harrington, assisted by number 19.
Carson over to Tracy.
Time
Catherine
of goal,
Tracy
107.
gets open, gets a shot, and does not get a goal.
Harrington.
Vikings pick it up.
Big turnover. This is how you start to get momentum building.
Scroden finds Hannah Erickson, the junior out of Lowell.
Shot clock is off.
Kayla McKim with the ball, running at the 20-yard line. She hands it over to Stefanik, who runs it in, trying to get a shot. Brennan applying some strong defense. Bears pick it up. Taylor Carroll with possession. She tries to get it over to Giovanello.
That's the half.
Bears now lead 11-2 at halftime.
The opportunities for me as an undergraduate here at BSU are essentially limitless. I've gotten an internship, I've been going to these great classes. I've definitely been given the ability to pursue something that's so passionate and dear to me.
Bears are taking the lead 11-2 with a minute remaining in the half. Some stats coming up on your screen now. We're seeing quite a bit of fouls on both sides. Bears netting 12, Vikings 8. A lot of turnovers being caused and lots of turnovers being received. 14 turnovers for the Vikings with only half that for the Bears. Same number for caused turnovers for the Bears.
But the Bears' assertiveness, one stat that I find very interesting, well, two stats actually now that I look at them all. Number one is saves. Salem State is outpacing Bridgewater State in saves, albeit only by 2. It's a 6-4 difference, but they are laying down more saves. And the fouls, Bridgewater State, you know, they're playing this very active, in-your-face, aggressive lacrosse, but it's coming at the expense of whistles. You know, 12 fouls compared to just 8 for Salem State. And I get it. You can't go a game of lacrosse without some fouls, but there is a discrepancy there, and I do think it can be attributed in significant part to the forwardness of the brand of lacrosse that Bridgewater State has come out here with tonight.
Definitely the Bears playing aggressive, playing strong. And you can see one goal there from Katie Shaw. Again, the young one on the team, the freshman. And then just her second goal this season, along with O'Brien. Katie O'Brien, the junior out of Pembroke, making her move, along with Langton. And the amazing, big, lucky stop and save by Sarah Lombard, picking it up out of the air to get what she wanted. And then the sidearm shot from Harrington. (11-2) here at rainy Swenson Field, as the team set up for the draw once again to start up the second half.
I don't know how they do it. If I was out there getting rained on, freezing, these players, these officials, if that was me, I would wither away into dust. Stronger than I are these players out here tonight.
And you could hear it on the baseball call.
Uh-huh. Yeah, no, just sitting there calling baseball. I'm soaked through to the skin. I'm freezing. And these women are out here playing lacrosse in all of this. I'm truly astonished. And the weather conditions, in addition to my own amazement at how they're even managing to handle this. Whoa, what a turnover there. That went right directly
to Kelsey
into
Brennan.
the stick of Brennan.
Now I was just about to say the Vikings were starting off strong. Now another turnover. The Bears.
Maybe they're starting off stronger than we
anticipated off of that. The steal from Brennan turns around to a steal from Suzanne Stefanik. Jessica Robert with the ball. Robert, a junior out of North Reading. She takes it behind the net. Passes it off. I believe that's to Schmick. Up over. Bit of a lousy pass over to Partham. Again, few missed passes here by the Vikings. Not sure if it's the rain at this point. But we got Suko with the ball, taking her time. Leonard team set up and running it through. Suko manages to get it over in front. Over to Schmick, but it's going to be a foul and a free shot for Mackenzie Schmick, the midi junior out of Danvers. I believe this is her second free shot of the night.
Schmick's been a big part of this offense. What offense there has been for Salem State, she's been on it. And it doesn't turn into a goal right away, but Salem State able to retain, which is very helpful for them.
I believe that's Kayla McKim with the ball. Getting a little pressure there. It finds its way outside. Back to McKim. Stuck behind the net. Everywhere she goes, she sees white. Partham having to turn around. Stefanik now trying to drive through, unable to do so. Finds herself behind the net. Tries to get the pass over to Madeline Plord, but can't do so. And that is going to be Haley Karen with the steal and the run. She's making her way down the length of the field. High pass up to Olivia Rankin. Rankin over to O'Brien. It's going to go up all the way to Cameron Gonzalez. Gonzalez with the goal. Cameron Gonzalez, the freshman out of East Bridgewater, Mass., a Southeastern Vocational Tech High School graduate. We've got quite a few freshmen on this team who have been instrumental. You can see Gonzalez turning in.
Year one, getting it done.
Her and Nina LaCory, another freshman who's been putting her names up on stats. Both of these girls are most likely going to be quite impressive names on this Bears squad for a few years to follow.
That's another thing that gets me about the depth that this Bears roster has, is there's a lot of youth, a lot of freshmen, a couple of sophomores here as well. A lot of players who, assuming they do stay with this Bears program, are going to develop and grow and become integral parts of this system later on down the road. They're going to be big pieces of future lacrosse seasons.
Brennan with the ball. Sends it down to McClay. McClay follows it inside. Tries to get a shot. And is going to receive a penalty. Looks like the foul is going to go in favor of McClay as she sets up for the free shot.
Case in point, McClay, first year here out of Archie's. And she gets the free point.
Right in the top left corner. Seems to be kind of a sweet spot that the Bears have picked up on. That and the bounces in.
Bears have committed more fouls, but they're also doing more with the fouls they pick up. You can see the discrepancy there. 13 fouls that the Bears have committed to just 8 by the Vikings. And I do think there's something to be said for what you do with opportunities like free position shots, which the Bears have had a number of, which they've scored on, which they just did right now.
Melanie McClay, the freshman out of Plymouth, Mass., not letting the rain get to her. Sending the Bears up to number lucky 13.
An 11-point Bears lead.
Laura Giovanello still sitting pretty in the Bears' goal, not worrying too much. She has only faced 4 shots.
Bears pull away the draw control immediately, though. That was McIntyre, came down with it initial.
Back over to McClay. Sends it down behind the net to Gonzalez. Over up to Nina LaCory.
Bridgewater State goal by number 1, Melanie McClay.
Looks like there's also going to be a foul called here. LaCory is going to take it, and looks like it's going to be a free shot. LaCory already with a goal tonight. She leads the team in goals. So far has 28 on the season, hoping to get 29 right now. And she does not. Big save.
Quick grab by Hollandsworth. That was admirable. Well placed. She knew exactly where that was coming in. Made herself available. That is textbook stuff right there. Incredible save. Great job.
Bears steal it back. Looks like that's Hannah Bowlby. She hands it off to McClay, who's just too close to the goal line to get anything. Hollandsworth picking up the ball behind the net and getting the pass off to her teammate. Looks like Schmink with the ball. She has to pass it behind her to Lieberth. High, almost Hail Mary pass up to Stefanik. And stolen away once again. Delaney Langton with the ball. Now over to McIntyre. Down to Gonzalez. McClay. Melanie McClay. Racing around and walking in. Going top shelf to send the Bears up to 14, I believe.
McClay unassisted by herself. Takes out the do-it-yourself kit. Wrap around. Hollingsworth trying her best, keeping the defense on. Just slightly better offense by McClay for the goal.
McClay pulling back. Just a second, just a little smidge to get it past Hollandsworth's net. You can see the rain is not bothering the Bears too much as McClay sets up for the next draw.
12-goal game.
Draw goes to Delaney Langton.
Number 1, Melanie McClay. Time of goal, 7:59.
Whistle blown early on. Langton is going to get the pass. She'll send it over to Rankin. Rankin down low to McClay. Gonzalez. All the way over, across the street. Delaney Langton once again. Langton picking it up and getting the pass down. LaCory. Lombard all the way down, back to Rankin. McClay. Bears passing it along the perimeter. Back up top, Lombard. LaCory. And it is going to be a big save once again for Hollandsworth. Hollandsworth making quite a few saves right in a row to help her team out. And the pass doesn't connect and goes out of bounds. That is going to be a free ball for the Bears. Gonzalez is going to take possession. She passes it up to LaCory. Rankin. McIntyre with it now. Back down to Gonzalez. McClay. Big save once again by Hollandsworth. Off of the shot from Lombard.
Bears able to regroup, though. Goal number 15. It's a 13 score game. Look
You
at
can
this right
see
here. You can see
Rankin
the
tried
replay.
to pick it up.
Eventually gets grabbed right there by McClay. She just heaves it over,
Yeah.
seeing what she can do with it, and it turns into a goal. Happens just in the blink of an eye to catch Hollandsworth lacking.
McClay now climbing to the top of the leaderboard. She is with her third goal of the night. O'Brien and Langton follow close with 2. Several Bears players with 1 apiece. Vikings with only 2 players with goals, Mackenzie Schmink and Jenna Wells, each with a goal apiece. Score now 15-2. 4:22 remaining and counting.
This is really, and I mean really, not the game we were expecting tonight.
Absolutely, and especially to have a running clock already in the third quarter is just not what anyone could have frankly expected out of these
No.
2 teams.
There's 2 teams that came in. We've said it already, I know, but they came in with identical full season records. Bridgewater only half a game in front of Salem State in the MASCAC. I mean, these are 2 teams coming in from pretty much the same place. Aside from the sizes of their rosters, there really isn't that much separating them in terms of how their seasons have gone. But, you know, it's an unstoppable force meeting an immovable object, it seemed like. But here, Bridgewater State is scoring on command, absolutely at will so far.
This is especially surprising considering that Salem State just bested Mass Maritime quite in a dominant fashion. Suko getting 7 of the goals for the team. And Mass Maritime being right in between Bridgewater and Salem in standings. Them standing at 5, Bridgewater at 4, and Salem at 6. Really expected this to be at least a closer game. Ball passed over to Katie Shaw, who manages to get it over to Langton, who loses ball for a second before it's picked up by Delory. Jacqueline Delory, the senior, out of Westwood, Mass. She passes long. Ball finds its way to McIntyre. Langton once again. Bears keeping it to the perimeter. Not too much stress still. About a minute left. Erin Power tries to get the goal on the wraparound. Can't do so. No one's picked it up yet as the ball continues to be thrown around. Whistle's going to be blown. You can see nobody really gets it. Power gets it for a second, takes a stick to the face. She gets the free shot and it goes her way. Erin Power, I believe. No, Delaney Langton.
There's hardly even any celebration anymore. It's almost perfunctory
Yeah.
for the Bears at this point.
Delaney Langton, the senior out of Scituate, now tied with Melanie McClay in most goals scored on the field so far tonight. As mentioned, Langton, also a soccer player. Her speed comes in great handy on this team.
Most definitely.
Amazing footwork, able to get through everyone as well.
And it's interesting because Langton, she's listed as a defender and a midfielder, but she's been anywhere but in this game. She's definitely playing the in-your-face, trying to score goals, attack role through and through. And I think it might be something perhaps that, not accounted for in the playbook.
Draw is going to go up and go right into the hands of Langton, who again uses that soccer speed and is sprinting down. She faces some defenders, but gets them off of her back.
Getting dogged by Stefanik there. Great defense. Not allowing her to step back in too close for a goal.
And we're seeing some pressure along the outside. O'Brien was open right in the middle. And she was again, but the pass doesn't work. That's going to be Hollandsworth chasing down the ball in the backfield. No one else in her team was there, so she took the liberty to do so herself. Send the ball up to Wells. Wells facing pressure by Shaw. That pressure is going to come in the form of a foul. Katie Shaw, the freshman out of Centerville, going to head over. And you can see her. Yeah, kind of side swipe a bit.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to go sit down for a bit.
It's going to be a yellow card for her, in fact, hence her seat.
Wells, again, facing quite a bit of pressure, but that is going to be the end of the quarter. Vikings, with no time left to do anything, they will take about a 2-minute break before setting back up once again. Now, we've seen some spectacular saves in net. We've seen some even greater shots. And we've seen some great saves off some great shots.
Mm-hmm.
It has been quite the game between these two. Melanie McClay and Delaney Langton, in particular, posting up quite a bit for the Bears.
It's been a lot going on, and both of these teams have had their bright spots. Both of these teams have had their flaws in the armor, but the scoreboard is telling, I think, a completely different story than anything we could have imagined coming in. These are two teams with, pretty much seemingly in the same spot, but here we are, 16-2 Bears after 3 quarters of play. One more to go. Salem State is going to have to, seriously turn on the engines to even stay in this.
It looks like the Bears having some good times, all dancing, enjoying themselves. Looking at possibly an assistant coach over with Katie Murphy. Olivia Carrigan spinning, showing off her skills after she's been relieved in net after a absolutely phenomenal day, going 50% herself, only facing 6 shots. So quite the day for her. She deserves to kind of get some dancing out.
Warm up a little bit.
Absolutely. Possible chance that Brooke Latora may come in for the Bears at one point or another. Latora playing almost 200 minutes, having a 39.3% save rate. Gia Vanello in right now, and so far not having to worry too much as she's made 3 saves so far out of about 3 quarters of play.
If I were Latora, I'd be happy to sit this one out. Southern California native. It's a disgusting rainy April night in Massachusetts. I don't think we're in Ventura County anymore, Toto. I would happily just take the bench for this one game only, but it's ultimately going to be the coaching staff's call, her call. Something tells me she wouldn't have quite the same view of it that I would, but...
And we can see the rain just right in front of that pavilion.
Weather-wise, it is just miserable out there.
And you can see it pooling a little bit on those high jump mats. Just how much is actually coming down. Luckily, we haven't seen any injuries, knock on wood, that we won't.
If you can believe it, we're not meteorologists right now. This isn't the weather at, every 10 minutes or whatever.
Oof, geez, but it has been quite the game so far. Both in terms of Bears taking the 14-goal lead, as well as just how impressive it is to see these women play in such, frankly, crappy conditions.
Oh yeah, no, it's just tough out there. I've been saying it since the beginning of the game. I'll say it well after this game is over. The conditions out here cannot be doing anyone any favors, and certainly Bridgewater State offensively has been working through it. They pull down the draw control right there.
Catherine
that one
Rona
goes right to Rona. But the conditions are just truly wretched out there. It's been tough going, especially for a sport like lacrosse. And I think that has certainly, that's not the only contributor, but I think it's certainly been a considerable factor against both of these teams. Clearly it's affected Salem a little bit more, the scoring differential, of course, but it's tough going.
One thing also to notice is that not only is it rainy, but it's also a bit cold. So the hands of these players have got to be freezing. Not all of them wearing gloves, as you could see.
A lot of them
Katie
not.
Sport was, but I believe that's Delaney Langton over there. She is not.
Most of them are foregoing the gloves, it appears, at a glance.
So, not only does that affect grip, but also just how cold are you going to get? How hard is it going to be to hold on for so long? And right now the Bears don't seem to be slowing down whatsoever. O'Brien with the ball.
I'm kind of wondering how Salem State plans to dry off before they get back on the bus.
They probably won't.
I mean, that would be just... I know I'm editorializing a little bit, but I would not, regardless of the result tonight, everyone out on that field is absolutely soaking wet. It's just raining a ton. I would not want to be sitting on the bus all the way back to Salem soaking wet like that. That's just... Credit to these women for putting up with all these things that would make me complain and complain. I'm complaining about it right now on the broadcast, and I'm not even out there. Imagine if I was playing. Can you believe it?
Hollandsworth with a huge save, I believe, from a shot from O'Brien. It finds its way, it bounces into the stick of Megan Partham. Partham taking some time, trying to get some space. She hands it up to Schmink. Passes it over to Stefanek. Schmink once again. Sends it down low to Lieberth. Back up along the perimeter once again. Stefanik at the 20-yard line. Trying to find a pocket. She finds one, but not one in the net. Giovanello with the save.
Big slap away there. That was almost goal number 3 for Salem State, truly. That was by the skin of her teeth. Giovanello managed to make that really crucial save. It was a great save.
And one turnover leads to another.
Wow.
Breakaway and goal for number 2, Megan Partham.
That's tough. That's commitment to a play.
Megan Partham.
That is absolutely commitment to a play and a great find. Check this out right here. By herself. Nobody's even in the same galaxy except McDonald. And McDonald and Giovanello are both powerless. In the moment, they are paralyzed.
Megan Partham.
Great shot by Partham.
With her first goal of the night, joining Schmink and Wells on the leaderboard for Salem State. She'll net the team their 3rd goal. Closing the gap a little bit. Letting the difference be 13. This is going to be her 9th goal of the season. Umpire setting up for the draw. And it is up. Brought down, but by who? It's going to be the Bears. Rona walking away with it. Sends it over to Harrington. Harrington trying to connect with Langton, but can't do it.
That's going to be a turnover picked up off the ground ball by Erickson.
Jenna Thomas with the pickup, the freshman out of Cumberland, Rhode Island. She's going to send it over to Stefanik. But it's going to be lost once again. The Bears are going to pick it up. Savannah Harrington once again. Now back to Lily Carson, then Delaney Langton. Langton over. Catherine Tracy with the ball, and now the free shot. Tracy hoping to help the Bears out. And she does. Off of the 5th free possession shot for the Bears. She will net the 3rd goal off of them.
I hear Hollingsworth's in place. But when the shot's coming at you that fast, there's pretty much nothing you can do. Not even the best goalie could defend that.
Yeah, going again, that top left corner seems to be a bit of Hollingsworth's weak spot, and the Bears are exploiting it as much as possible. Catherine Tracy with the goal. That's going to be off of the free position shot. Catherine Tracy, one of the captains, along with Carol, and Brennan. Draw. Going to go to the Vikings. Stefanik over to Schmink. Suko with the ball. Giovanello stuffing the Vikings offense stepping out of net a little bit to make the play. Now Bears, Haley Karen. She's carrying it down, not facing any pressure. Not too worried about it. Over a minute on the shot clock. And a big save once again by Hollandsworth. Karen's shot doesn't go her way.
Hollingsworth there on that play, playing a lot of the same kind of...
Oh, big steal. And another big save.
A couple of big grabs. But on the play right before that, by Hollingsworth, before that really great save, before O'Brien could make anything of it, a lot of the same... It looked a lot to me like the same play that Giovanello was making before, that very out front, few yards, few yards in front of the net, stepping out and making a big defensive play. And it looked like she was employing that same kind of tactic right there. So she's showing her versatility, she really is, both directly in front of the net and even a little bit outside, helping as sort of an auxiliary member of the defense.
And she will not have the shot go her way. Haley Karen, the captain, is going to take the shot and get the goal. See the pass up. All the way, she's right alongside the perimeter. Harrington with the pass. You can see just getting right above the net of Hollandsworth. And that's going to get Karen success in land the Bears at 18 points. Running clock just about at 7 minutes now. Not many timeouts utilized so far this game. Something we typically see is that timeout clock is usually down to 0 pretty quickly, so a little strange seeing it still so high up. Langton passing it over to Carson. Langton once again with the give and go. Hollandsworth bounces it outside. Over to Karen. Makes its way over to O'Brien. And that's going to be a foul in favor of Lindsey Brown, senior out of East Longmeadow. She's going to take the 8-meter free shot. And off of a fairly weak shot, she will not get anything, but it does look like there's going to be another whistle blown. Looks like Bears are going to take possession as Brown picks it up. And they're going to redo the free shot. Seems there was a bit of a... Must have been a foul during the shooting process. Lindsey Brown gets a redo.
It's in and out.
Hits the post, it looks. Goes to the stick of O'Brien, who tries to get the shot again, but it's saved. Langton.
Big defensive stop right there.
Down to Carson. Carson over to Brown. Lindsey Brown. She hands it over to Catherine Tracy for another goal for Tracy tonight off the bounce shot.
This was a tough one. It's a strategy that's already been used a couple of times today, this bounce almost. This really low shot, fierce, slipping right by your legs into the net. It's tough to get around that. It's really tough to make that kind of save. You don't know exactly where it's going to be placed, and as a result, you get caught slipping really no matter what you do.
Catherine Tracy, now the third Bear to get a hat trick tonight. Been quite an impressive game for the Bears, as mentioned, 3 players all netting 3 goals apiece, and still with 4 minutes and about 10 seconds remaining in this game. Langton walks away with the draw control. Well, she's running. She's going quite fast, sneaking by the Vikings and getting a goal real quick. Langton unassisted off of the draw control. The rain not bothering her whatsoever. Delaney Langton, a quick goal, her 4th of the night. The PA announcers weren't even done announcing Tracy's goal before Langton took her own shot.
Just about 3.5 minutes, a little under 3.5 to go in this game. Bears have, I mean, what can you even say? Bears have jumped out to a considerable advantage. 17 goals separating these two squads now after that last shot by Langton.
Bears now hitting 20. And I believe they only have one other game where they've scored about as many as they have tonight. They bested Fitchburg State back in early April, 24-5.
Salem wins that draw control, though.
Bears goal by number 15, Langton.
Schmink passing it over to Stefanik.
4 goals, an assist, and a block for Langton. That stat pulling up on your screen right there. That's a busy night. 5 points on the block. A quick stop there. No, a goal. I stand corrected. A Salem State goal. Looked like a stop. It just barely crept in there. But that one slid past Giovanello. That's a Salem State goal.
I believe that's by Schmink who gets the goal.
Looks like
And
it
she
was off the
retrieves the
tip.
stick.
We'll check this right here. Here's the replay. Oh, yeah. No
Just
doubt. That one
barely goes in.
by
Look
this by a hair's breadth. Schmink throws that one in with the assist by Suko.
And it looked like for a second Schmink was the only one who knew she got the goal. Nobody else. She immediately tossed down her stick while everybody else was kind of still running to figure out where the ball went.
Yeah. So Schmink drops that one in, a bit of a last stand, as we slip under 2 minutes to play.
Schmink with possession again. She hands it off. Ball does not go in Vikings' favor. Salem picking it up once again. Stefanik passes it down. The pass does not go to Kayla McKim. It goes out of bounds to be for the Bears. Bears trying to get out of the defensive end. Langton sends it all the way over. Rankin was there to pick it up. Ball finds its way all the way over to Nina LaCory. Passes back up to Langton. Rankin. Down over to Lombard, who can't make the catch. Picks it up. Believe that's
Shot clock's off.
Gonzalez.
This one's over.
Just 20 seconds remaining. Bears are either going to keep to the perimeter or get a last-minute goal. Langton holding out at the 20. Looks like the Bears are just going to walk this one out.
What a resounding victory. In the conference in general, what a huge win
Delaney
for Bridgewater
Langton.
State.
Delaney Langton with 4 goals tonight. Following her, McClay, Tracy with 3 apiece. Schmink with 2, the only Salem player with 2. And O'Brien and Karen for the Bears also with 2. It's going to send the score 20-4. Laura Giovanello playing fantastically in net with a 71.4 save percentage. Bears are going to take this one, another feather in their cap as they go 3-2 in the MASCAC stand-ins, 7-7 overall, and they send the Salem State Vikings 6-8 overall and 2-4 in MASCAC.
Big game, big game. Real statement, especially considering how big this was and the fact that it's a MASCAC game. Real statement win for Bridgewater State in so many ways.
Absolutely, and possibly going to shake up stand-ins depending on how any other games go tonight. Bears may be moving out of the 4th place ranking, or Salem State might be moving out of 6th place. Definitely going to be something to keep an eye on. But for now, my name is Caleb Faria.
And I'm Matt Donahue.
And please remember that every day is a great day to be a Bear. Thank you for watching the Bears Sports Network on BTV.